Alright folks, we're back. I'm actually just gonna mute myself here while I finish munching on the rest of this bar, so Zombie, take it away.
Alright. The left side as the red Protoss. It is Lilbow. Oh boy. And the right side as the blue Zerg, it's TLO. Just shove it all in, Rifkin. Yeah, that was an easy one. Alright, so quick Nexus from Lilbow. Why not? Bridgehead, one ramp. Seems like this game is going towards the faster thirds anyways, so why not the faster Nexus? We should know what to say. TLO's looks really powerful versus Protoss, but we have not caught any of Lilbow's games lately. We don't know why he got sent into the losers match. Apparently he lost a PvP actually. I just coincidentally had the winners bracket up. So versus Showtime, he lost 2-1. And that matchup is pretty funky. I mean, it already was, but even funkier. That definitely explains. I guess they both got sent to the losers bracket because they both did mirror matchups. Well, now we're going to see what the PvZ looks like. There is that third base talking about. I expect to see one from Lilbow, actually, even though usually he's known as someone who can be does very good two-base all-ins. And he can certainly throw one out in Legacy of the Void. It's just that, you know, the last couple of PvZs, they have been those third bases, especially on Bridgehead. But question is, when he goes to third base, what's his composition going to look like? Is he going to stick with Blink Stalkers? Sentries? Is he going to try and go for those carriers?
I would actually be very upset if you went for carriers. I'm sorry, I'm back. Hi. We've seen carriers fail across the board, and again, I really want to emphasize what carriers have been made popular. People have realized how strong they are, and the build time nerf has certainly hurt them. We've seen that in 3 different games today. I definitely think seeing players like Puck play disruptors on this map, using chokes against their opponents, adepts and warp prisms, there are other ways to play the matchup that are still effective. They're just much harder to pull off, and I think that's why a lot of these guys are a little averse to doing it. But Lilbow is the one player in StarCraft 2 who's not afraid of hard work. He's the one foreigner to ever make it to BlizzCon, so, I mean, good luck. I wish him the best in this match.
There's that third base and a Stargate. Seems like Lilbow is at least talk to people, I guess, is what is good to do. Oh, I made like a...
It's a really ugly Mickey Mouse, yeah. So I was gonna wait and say.
Oh boy.
I really hate it. You know, one of the things that the Legacy of the Void trailer set me up for disappointment, wasn't the really sick warp ins and the delay on the warp ins, but it's like that probe-made building looks so cool. Like, you get a boom, and like silence, it's like the black hole forms warping in the pylon. Like, that doesn't happen in game. This is loud and annoying and dumb looking.
Well, it's like what really happened in cinematic with nice username. Like, the warping also looked really cool, but then it actually happens in game and it looks really lame.
No, that wasn't. Was that your nice username? I think it was someone else who did that one.
I thought you were the one that brought it up and said you see that GIF by nice username, so I don't know.
Well, in fairness, nice username does do like 99% of all the awesome GIFs people see.
It's true.
And I tend to reference his adept one quite a bit, actually. So.
Which one's adept one?
Where he shows the difference between the adepts, like patch, attack speed. Versus,
the patch. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. The patch updates.
Yeah, actually, I saw him lurking in chat. I don't know if he's still awake. If you are, Joe, I don't know why the fuck you're awake so early, man. But big love to you for all the stuff you do. It might not be super publicized and appreciated, but know that we love you for it. I love you for it.
I guess you're
Zombie's a monster. She doesn't like anything, so I can't speak for her on this one.
That's true. I don't like anything.
Except Korea. That's
Korea. But I asked, like, what was he gonna do? Was he gonna go to carriers? Gonna do Blink Stalkers? And the answer, rather, is Blink Stalker. At least for now. Maybe adding disruptors?
So, actually, this is what I'm sitting here, like, rubbing my hands with invisible soap as I, like, think about the evil thoughts going on in Lilbow's mind. The thing is, Lilbow If nothing else throughout his career in HOTS, his control has always been superb. Watching him pull off force fields and never missing a beat. Seeing Blink control perfect. I kind of think Blink Stalkers will apply in Legacy if done correctly. God knows Parting was doing this for a while too while he was playing. So, for Lilbow to dedicate to this, I can't say that this is guaranteed to work. Things like Lurkers and new abilities for Zerg, they've changed the matchup for sure. But the end of the day, Lilbow's control with Blink Stalkers is going to be good, and this is guaranteed to do damage. The question is just how much. Is it a lot? Is it a little? Etc.
It is just pure Blink Stalker, accompanied by a Warp Prism. Those quick warp-ins, of course, but like not even the sentries. Oh, is TLO prepared for this? He's getting Burrow, he's getting upgrades, he has a Hydralisk Den, but not really a lot of army on the field. Or at least it's not in position, half of it's on top. Ooh, there's no Mothership with this. I mean, I guess they're all Blink Stalkers, so that is that is a retreat plan right there. Oh, big warp-in of Zealots?
Ooh, Corrosive Bile does manage to pepper the shields off them immediately, but the Stalkers here are going to be bringing a lot of damage, as this is mostly Roaches, not Ravagers. Ravagers don't take the bonus damage from Stalkers, but Roaches do. However, nowhere really safe to Blink to, despite this awesome Blink micro. Once again, Lilbow's fighting this with a very large deficit when it comes to army supply, but he's actually taking a really good fight. A lot of these Stalkers are so close to death as he backs away. Warp Prism does go down, but not before getting the Stalkers out, so he's got that second range, or Warp-in coming in.
Yeah, but I think that there's enough production now for TLO to push back this small amount of Stalkers. TLO's probably got to go back and think of plan number 2. It's another Warp Prism for now, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Or maybe it is. Like, geez, if there is a proxy pylon, even with all the slow warp-ins, he would definitely be winning. Damn.
Ravagers need to focus down. Unfortunately, can't attack. Got a couple. Dodge, Corrosive Bile, Blinks back. Alright. So, I mean, again, for Lilbow, the question is, would this do enough damage? He's sitting on 60 probes back at home. I kind of feel like with the money he's floating, taking a 4th might be a little advantageous, but either way, he's walking Stalkers across the map. Here's that Warp-in with the Warp Prism, and 8 gateways, 9 gateways, pardon me. It's going to be so much work off of. There's no upgrades in this, so there's no +1. There's no advance up towards like Templar. This is Lilbow all-inning in a very weird pre-base sense.
Just the lack of sentries really throwing me off. But it is working. It's surprising, but it is. I thought maybe TLO canceled his Hydralisk Den to get as many roaches out as possible, but now he's trying to get it, but is it too late? Mothership Core goes down. Warp Prism still warping in a lot of Blink Stalkers.
And the Blink Stalkers are being blinked appropriately.
Damn.
Now, the Corrosive Bile ends up being pretty nasty there on the south side, but even then, there's just so many still remaining. Lilbow does not have an army supply lead, but keep in mind a lot of the army that's available, it's Queens and it's Roaches. Neither of these units particularly effective in this situation. But he's holding with it, and that's what matters the most.
Oh, it is pretty close. 13 more Roaches on the way. Getting Hydras maybe at some point too.
There is another aspect a little bit about this that I'm kind of thinking about as well. Going for an all-in with Blink Stalkers is not super crazy, but this kind of leads towards my suspicions where I was saying like he's been so focused on doing hot stuff for BlizzCon. Probably hasn't played a lot of Legacy of the Void, probably hasn't studied a lot of Legacy of the Void, and certainly not practiced a lot of Legacy of the Void. So hoping Brute Force would get him through these qualifiers maybe? I mean, Brute Force is kind of working too. Like that's the other part of it.
That was a blink forward. Might have been a little overeager, or maybe not. Like all the Ravagers are now gone. The roach reinforcements don't seem to be quite enough. I mean, TLO's trying to do everything. He's also building Queens with the money that he has. He doesn't have enough gas to unfortunately build any Hydras, which would be very helpful.
Larvasarp too.
Oh, the Queen Brigade is coming down, man. Like, there's 4 extras coming from the main.
They don't have a lot of energy for transfuses. If these get transfused for days, this might look a little different, but Lilbow has finally started to take that very decisive lead here. That Brute Force pushing through. Overlord's getting picked off. Soon to block TLO through supply, if nothing else.
Well, it's still so sick that it was just Blink Stalkers, and he got, like, a full surround Blink Stalkers, too.
Right, but again, this goes back to exactly what I was saying, where Lilbow's control of the game is impressive to say the least. And Blink is a very funny mechanic in that regard. I actually almost wish we'd see him use the Warp Prism a little bit more than just reinforcements, pick up some of these units with that 6 range. But regardless, he's kind of broken TLO's third base is going to die. Now, TLO did get a 4th, and he transfers the drones up here. And Lilbow actually does not know about this base. So this Could be a problem. You might think he's a lot further ahead than he is, but he is really far ahead. I mean, level 2 upgrades on TLO's roaches, and he still can't contest this army.
With a couple of Hydras mixed in, or those tunneling claws, I'm gonna say the Hydras more. I'd say that TLO had a decent counterattack, but just the roaches, or lurkers, ooh.
If he can get to lurkers, though, this base is gonna get discovered here.
Oh no, it's gonna get sniped too. TLO completely out of position. I mean, he's gonna be looking for his own Nexus snipe, I guess.
Hashtag base trade.
Yeah, but just with, I mean, they're inferior units, but they will have that burrow and tunneling claws mixture, and I don't know if Lilbow's remade is.
There's one observer for detection, and it's in the middle of the map, so no cannons at home, no detection at home. Warbins defensively won't matter, but if it does come down to an actual base trade, probably going to go in the favor of Lilbow. He's got more stalkers on the other side of the map, and there are roaches on his side.
Yeah.
Lurkerden is so close to finishing, too. I think TLO's plans are to try and bulk up and just hold in the natural.
Yeah. It's not a bad plan. Of course, with tunneling claws, force fields wouldn't matter, so he doesn't get into the main base. He could target down the Robo, maybe hope that later on he could target down the 1 or 2 last observers, let the Lurkers win, but the Lurkers aren't even going to get a chance to be made.
So close to finishing, too, but you're not going to get a chance here. A couple going to morph for the backside. Drone's getting pulled. Ugh, even if he's finished, there was an observer. I guess it's not here. It went elsewhere.
There's actually drones
out? He got some drones out. He can actually build a hatchery.
Yeah, Lilbow can build as many X's as he wants. He still has probes in the natural.
These lurkers are actually going to get a chance to burrow. I'm astonished. The blink goes down, so he can't blink away. Big shots get fired. Meanwhile, other side of the map, TLO's actually doing quite well with his base trade. He managed to pick off most of the probes. A couple managed to get away. Oh, don't build a hatchery here. Oh, Socrates blink over the wall, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's awkward.
TLO, please.
That's really awkward. Now, the lurkers, they're actually going to be potentially... Oh, well, one gets sniped. The way that TLO would win this, like, seriously, you know, maybe sniping the observer or hoping to find a concept out of position or just simply adding a lot of damage.
Actually, all the probes are pretty much dead at this point. Where are the last 3? Up here.
We're next to that base. But
okay, so Lilbow can still build a Nexus. Try to break down these rocks as a way to get the lurkers out of here. Save things. Did the observer ever come back? It's not. Fighting on top of these lurkers is going to be really difficult for Lilbow. This is really where Legacy of the Void starts chiming in, and this is where TLO, I think, gets that advantage in the game. Starts building extractors as well for safety.
Yeah. It's not a bad army. I mean, the army supply is very close. TLO did get those upgrades. Not just the +2, but like the tunneling claws and whatnot, too.
Has Lilbow been revealed yet? I guess that's the last Nexus up here, so let's go down first.
He could build 3 more Nexus, though. Just, why doesn't he?
I don't know. Lurkers, the thing is, in most situations, stalkers could blink and dive and kill the hatchery, and that'd be game. But the lurkers actually have high enough damage and bonus versus armor that could probably kill most of the stalkers if Lilbow goes for that dive. So this is a really stupid situation, but it's what we have. There's no observers in play. He killed the killed the pylon power and the robo, so he can't even build one.
But not the robo itself. I mean, again, Lilbow with so many minerals could rebuild
a lot.
Everything. Like, the tech never really went down, so it's not like he has to start from scratch, the gateway. And Lilbow has the much bigger potential to come back in a late game. Even though lurkers are good.
Drone count's starting to get up here for TLO. This roach can have some nice detection. Let's see what's going on. This guy I'm burrowing here in the natural. Gonna keep chipping away the Nexus slowly, for surely. Trying to rebuild some probes out as his own Nexus does complete, but a very strange base trade situation indeed. No probe.
When we have seen before though, like lurkers potentially winning the game.
Yeah. Actually, there's not really any anti-air, and there's no detection for TLO to get a snipe on that observer either, which is quite unfortunate. And it's gonna be 1 base versus 2, not by much though, like more like 1.5, I guess. Yeah, lurkers do not care about these zealots.
I don't know what he was attempting to do. I guess get a couple of drone kills.
It's attempting to, test the waters, I guess.
I think TLO, despite whatever he can do with tunneling claws or not, it's just like you see that big army, you see the Nexus has been remade. I mean, you gotta be knowing that like I don't think there's a way for you to win. The lurkers, only 3 of them are no longer enough to win. It's no longer scrappy. It's just a waiting game.
I had so much faith in Lilbow to take this like really easily, but now with the stalker count, man, the lurkers are so scary. I think anyone else in this situation is just like, Rifkin, you're stupid. Like, he'll focus on the hatchery like nobody's business, but really, like, do not underestimate the lurkers. 36 damage a shot. Like, damn. I agree with observers. Actually, might focus the lurkers instead of hatchery, potentially. That's actually a really scary thing to consider. Sparkcaller is going to get built and see the observer, but he can't reach it. That's going to be a little bit awkward.
If Lilbow just kind of, you know, did like a concave, though, I don't think the lurkers would be effective enough. Instead, he blinks in, like, you know, clumps them all up.
God, he loses a lot of stalkers for 2 lurkers.
Yeah,
is that enough? TLO does sneak a drone away. He's going to build a hatchery up here at the top right, so... Unfortunately, last lurker does go down. His best thing he had going for him. Some of the stock is going to go down now. TLO was breaking down the back rocks, but rushing back home with these roaches. You know, Zamir Lilbow may have done it. I don't know.
Yeah.
This was a really long blink call-in, but a blink call-in that did eventually succeed.
I guess, yeah, that's true. It was off with 3 base, though, so it wasn't as dire as it sounds. But it was upgradeless. So that Centuries and had no upgrades, but it was off with 3 base. It was a little odd, but a cool game.
Alright, well, good game. Lilbow will take map number 1 in this best of 3. Strange situations, but love them, love them, love them. Okay, once again, I'm going to hit you guys with some ads while we get into this next map. Stick around, we'll see you guys in 2 minutes.